Hello. Nice to see you all again. So, uh, you know, if you had a chance to see my last video, which was talking about weight loss, and so this channel, which is Level Up, Stress Down, and I'm Nia, by the way, is just talking about our insecurities, talking about our fears, and strategically finding ways to get past those and growth. And so I had a little break from work, and I decided to go for a little walk before my next meeting. And so then I'm getting ready to do a little errand here really quick and before my next call, so I'm going to make this quick. But I thought about something that I wanted to share, and I'm like, for most of my life, my biggest insecurity, of course, was my weight. And I am at the point where I'm maintaining my weight. So, and and my next thought process is, what is my life? What is life now that I've maintained the weight? I've reached my goal and want to continue doing there. So that's kind of where I'm at with things. And it's like, because I don't want to be on the medication for life. So I'm preparing along with my clinical team to transition from that, and what's that's going to look like, and what all the things that I need to do, and diet and exercise and everything. But like I said, for the most of my life, my biggest insecurity was my weight, for sure. For me, it affected my confidence. It affected, really, now that I'm older, I'm able to reflect back on those things, but it affected my confidence. It affected how I overall saw myself. How it made me feel like I wasn't good enough, or wasn't pretty enough, or beautiful enough, or just good enough, and it kind of, I believe it just held me back from things that I wanted to accomplish or could have accomplished if I wouldn't have been having that struggle of my own. And so there's many things that I've learned of turning your insecurity into growth. But one thing for sure that I've learned is weight doesn't define you. What you look like does not define you. Your character probably definitely shapes some of that definition, but you're not your weight. You're not what other people think. You're not what society leads you to believe is beautiful and pretty and all of that and things. So it's so funny, because as a young girl, I've always had buck teeth, nappy hair, and was always a big girl. And as an adult, I'm still that. I'm still a big girl with buck teeth and nappy hair. But who cares? I don't have to. I still am probably going to do braces, but I've done the Invisaligns and not wearing them correctly, and that's a whole nother separate story for another day on that. But I don't have to do that just to appease what other people say. I can just be myself and be happy with it. I can have nappy hair and be just fine. I don't have to do what other people expect for me to do and be fine with myself. But those are things that time and life experiences had to help me to understand. So for me, where did that insecurity, I'll say, show up? It definitely showed up in childhood. I've been through some things when I was younger that wasn't, of course, ideal, as I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in this world that unfortunately had to go through, and maybe at some point I'll share and we'll grow from those things together, of what led me wanting to overeat, because I was not obese as a young child, like in 5, 6, 7, 8. I was not. But some unfortunate things happened as a young child that caused me to start eating more. And now I realize, of course, it's emotional eating, and was dealing with trauma and all of those things that caused me to be obese and be bigger. And it just made me feel it was comfort. Food was a way of comfort when dealing with some things. And so it started definitely in childhood and just kind of went along through adulthood. And even I'll say that what triggered anytime as I was even a teenager, an adult, anytime I was stressed or something that bothered me, food was definitely a way of how I coped. And it just was an unhealthy obsession for me. But it was a comfort feeling, even though I may feel bad after about the food choices that I was eating. But in the moment, it took away some of that pain or that stress or that trauma or whatever it may have been at that particular time. So I know some of the internal feelings that I would feel was definitely shame because it was big. Frustration because I still kept repeating the same cycle, of still eating, but that was just how I dealt with things for many, many, many years. I noticed too that I would hide behind, as I was a teenager for sure, because when I was younger, I was a little more quiet and not as spoken, but as a teenager, kind of being early teens, probably middle school, being, I'll say maybe 6th grade, so end of elementary, beginning of middle school, kind of being more picked on or talked about, it led me to want to act out in a way of having to become the roughest or the toughest or slick mouth and quick witty comebacks to people and all of that. Those were, now I realize, a way of just dealing with a lot of the things that I had going on that I didn't know how to just talk to someone or talk about. So instead, definitely it allowed me to get into fights and talking about people. And it's like when they say people who are bullied turn into people that bully people, that is so true. So true. I wanted to always believe that I didn't necessarily bully people, that I just had a reason. But now that I'm getting older, I'm like, no, you definitely turned into what people were doing to you as well and tried to justify it. And so for those things and those reasons, I'm definitely sorry for choices that I made that I was younger that just were not the wisest choices, and to people that I may have hurt with words or actions that I'm definitely sorry to, and I apologize to. But I guess that's growth, and that's things that we're learning from as we get older. So that is definitely some things that I still think about, and I take the time to try to understand how my weight affected my life in other ways. I definitely didn't like taking photos. Definitely not videos and photos and things, because I don't like the way that I even look on camera, to be honest with you. So this is for me to be able to vlog is definitely overcoming an insecurity and being on camera and taking pictures and all of that, because again of the weight. So I do feel, because I doubted a lot of choices that I made in my life when I was younger, that those choices led me to maybe get into some relationships or some things that choices that I wouldn't have stuck with and made. But again, in my life, I do not regret anything that I've gone through or anything that I've been through, because it's made me the woman that I am today and the person that I am today, and helping my character and shaping who I am and the things that I value and the core things that I believe in. So I don't regret anything, but there are some choices that I probably wouldn't have made if I would have had that confidence that I believe in, that I do feel like I have now, that I probably would have, if I'd have had then, I would have made better choices. So, but that's okay. It's okay. It's learning and it's growth, and I'm still here to talk about it. And I'm just sharing my experiences with you all, because we're all in different journeys on our weight loss and our insecurities, and dealing with our insecurities and dealing with our fears, and we're figuring out what works best and what doesn't work best for us. And I feel like I'm able to share where I'm at in my journey because other people was confident enough to share their journey. I don't think I would have been able to share if it wasn't for some other content creators sharing where they were at, which once I reach out to them, I will mention them in this vlog as well, so you can reach out to them and look on their channels and see if it's something that you want to subscribe to. But I want to make sure that I get their permission and be mindful of them as well first. So what is some things that I, when I knew I needed to change some things in my life as far as weight? I know I've shared on my last video, which I'll definitely link out to this video, but my family and I were going to the amusement park, and I was scared of being able to fit into rides, so I knew that was something I wanted to change. I also wanted to change because I wanted to, again, wear a two-piece. That's something I shared in my last video when we go on vacations that I've never been able to do, and I'm still not there. I am there, but I just don't have the confidence yet, but I'm doing some things to kind of help myself to get there, and you guys are going to be a part of that journey as well too. So one thing I also did was I shifted my mindset. Of always wanting to trying to be so-called perfect or whatever that may be in society's terms, to wanting to just be healthy and more importantly be consistent with the habits that I've learned to develop, which as time goes on I'm going to start sharing some of those habits that I've learned, because again I do want to transitioning off of the medication and I want to maintain my weight, and so I've changed a lot of ways that I eat and how I move up my body and what I do, and I'm very mindful of those things to help me continue on, because it's a lifestyle change. It's not just a season as I used to always treat losing weight was a season. No, it's a lifestyle change. So, and what I've realized in this journey is that one of the other things is that I'm not measured by my weight. Weight does not measure my worth, so it doesn't, weight equals worth. That does not for me, it doesn't, no longer. And so that's a huge burden lifted, where I'm able to feel good and feel happy and feel satisfied in life with that. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on here just to say kind of something with that and where I'm at. But one thing I would love to know, what is your fear? What is one of your biggest insecurities? And if you're not afraid to share that, because it may help somebody else, comment below on what your biggest fear or your biggest security is, because you're not alone on this journey whatsoever, and every small step definitely counts. So I do ask you to comment and share your experience, and then go a step further and say, what is one small change that you're working on? Just one. That's all. Just one small change, because however many changes that we typically have, that will definitely just add up to bigger changes in lifestyles, and we're all in different journeys on this weight loss journey. So, well, I'm Nia, and I'm excited to see you all again. If this has been uplifting, or if you're interested, please feel free to subscribe and like this video, and we're gonna do this together. I will see you in the next video soon. Take care.